what you did, you little jerk.
What's going on, Jerk Faces? Welcome to another episode of the Circle of Jerks podcast. As always, you have Andy.
Yo.
We have returning jerk, Daniel.
Hey.
Myself, your lovely host, Robert. Hey. And we have a returning guest who you may have saw on the 4th of July episode, who's going to share a lot of fun stories with us. He's lived a very interesting life.
To say the least.
He's got a lot of great stories, and we after that episode aired, he stayed over for probably another like half hour just sharing stories. I mean, we were on the floor dying laughing, and so it figures like, we should have this guy back to tell his stories and to share some laughs. So without further ado, we have our returning guest, Val.
Hey, thank you very much. How's it going?
Yo.
You definitely fit in with this group of jerks.
Yes. I appreciate that.
We had a nice little warm up session. Don't forget to check out. Look for the backstage clip that'll
definitely
be posting after this one goes up.
If we laugh as much on the actual podcast as we did half an hour ago when we were doing the behind the scenes, then it'll be a good episode. I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, because Dan hasn't been here in a while, let's check in with Dan real quick. Dan, how have you been, bud?
Well, not too bad. I have survived the, passion that is the Jewish holiday season, and it is quite a trial and travail.
Is it very similar to Curb Your Enthusiasm, where there's auctioning off tickets,
scalping high tickets? Holiday tickets is an absolutely real thing. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. There is bargaining. I mean, these, my people, my fellow Jews, are the bargaining people. We like to haggle just for haggling's sake. And, oh boy, you have no idea how much the high holiday tickets are in demand. And you can read any of, the Jewish publications. There's, most major cities, including LA, have some weekly Jewish journal is what it's called in LA, weekly newspaper / magazine. And you see just all the various synagogues who are hawking their high holiday, the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that period known as the high holidays, the tickets for that. That's when all the Jews come out of the woodwork. Normal weekly Sabbath service, depending how big your shul is, you're going to get anywhere from, 20 to, maybe 100 people at the very most. High holidays, you fill up rooms 500, 1,000 people. Some of the shuls who don't have the space will actually rent like a hotel ballroom or something like that.
Is this kind of the equivalent of the Easter and Christmas Christians?
Yeah, in a way, right? Yes, we absolutely call them the once-a-year Jews. That's not even derogatory. Yeah, that's not even considered derogatory. It's just and that once a year means it's a 10-day period between New Year's Day, which in Judaism always falls in, mid to late September usually. And Yom Kippur is 10 days later. It's on the 10th day of the first Jewish month. And so those 10 days, they sometimes call them the 10 days of awe. You're supposed to repent for your sins and think about your previous year. And then the idea is you're absolved of your, sins and any promises or vows made, that you either broke or haven't fulfilled. Exactly. And so that, that high holiday period is when, you may not have gone to shul, or been within a mile of one all year round, but you're like, hey, I'm going to come for those days, for New Year's Day, for Rosh Hashanah, and for Yom Kippur. Okay.
Oh, wow, I haven't seen Elijah Rosenbaum in a year.
And that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode, which has been parodied, and some of the parodies are just as good as the original, in my opinion. People are, outside or more commonly through the publications, offering high holiday tickets. Ooh, ours are a lower discount. We'll offer you full membership. Here's a, set of plate and glassware if you want to join our shul. There's all of that and more. This, I'm barely exaggerating. I have seen it all in terms of, moving up to the front row. Ooh, that's going to cost you a pretty penny. But, I remember your younger sister's bat mitzvah, and hey, you want to maybe do a little side action and hook me up, I'll comp you those front row tickets for free.
Oh my god.
I can honestly say that.
I thought that was like when I watched that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. I thought that was like a joke, and he's like, he told me, it's like, dude, no.
He's like, no, man. That might be the least exaggerated episode of any show, including Seinfeld, that Larry David has ever made. Yeah.
Wow. He said, if I can tell you what I've seen.
Right, exactly. I won't say it's the rabbi who's, trying to hawk and scalp the tickets like it is on the episode, but people will absolutely do that, and we're trying to outcompete each other. Here are the tickets for $50, for $5, $200, but you get full membership, which is a, $20,000, reward investment. Here's some stock in the shul,
Yeah, Jesus.
I'll sell the dowry of my oldest daughter, I'll throw her in for free,
Damn.
There's some funny shit that goes on during the holiday season.
That's crazy.
Man, you crazy Jews.
I know, right? Sounds like Black Holiday, man.
Much of it is, ironically, it's considered the white observance. You actually, which is funny because of that. You're encouraged to wear white.
Right.
Jewish services, especially Yom Kippur, is like a purity thing, similar to bride wearing white at a wedding. That type of thing. You're trying to make yourself pure, so you're kind of pushing the envelope and helping God out a little bit, but to make the decision for you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See, look at all this stuff I did. It's like,
right.
Look at me better.
Meanwhile, you're fasting for the day, and when we get, especially in LA and warmer climates, a 100-degree day, as it always tends to be on Yom Kippur, people are passing out because they haven't eaten or drunk anything for like 24 hours, and often they mistime it, so it's more like closer to 2 days or a day and a half. It's supposed to be a sunset to sunset thing,
right.
But it's a little earlier than that, so it's like 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And if you don't do dinner and you're just eating lunch at like noon or 1, then it turns into a day and a half thing.
Right.
For the people that take it seriously. And a lot of people who don't take any other part of Judaism seriously, think they can make it up for it in this one time a year. Man, good on you for thinking that. That's fine. I'm not going to judge one way or the other. But those are the first people who end up passing out. And then, of course, the EMTs have to be called. Luckily, it's most Jewish congregations, I don't want to spread stereotypes, but we usually have at least 2 or 3 doctors, around to help people out. So
that explains all the extra sirens.
Usually, and everyone looks at you. Yeah, usually we don't have to call the EMTs. It's been over 10 years.
That explains all the extra sirens I heard during that time period.
Right, exactly.
Oh man.
And you can imagine what else. But yeah, that Curb Your Enthusiasm is
pretty accurate,
to say the least.
Well, I'm glad you survived.
So I survived. Back. Yeah, because this entire first month we follow, as I've explained before, we follow Yom Kippur starting 4 days later with the holiday we call Sukkot, which is sometimes translated as Tabernacles. It's the Feast of Tabernacles. There's no real great translation. I think I've heard booths also used.
That's the other.
That's a better translation because Sukkah means tent or shelter, and it just kind of represents. It's the fall harvest festival first and foremost. Okay, it's basically our Thanksgiving.
Right.
But it's one of those 7/8 day festivals, just like Passover. Hanukkah.
That's like more of like kind of like a celebration, isn't it?
It is. It's the fall harvest festival, and each of the 3 kind of seasonal festivals, fall, spring, and summer harvests, which were very ancient, maybe even predating Judaism, but they're harvest festivals. We're talking about in Israel, so you can grow crops just like Southern California, similar climate, and plant and harvest all year round, even in winter. But there's no real ancient winter harvest festival. There's a kind of a newish one that started in the Middle Ages. But anyway, so we have that Sukkot, and it's the other commemoration that's been attached to it, just like Passover, it's the spring harvest festival, but the Exodus from Egypt was kind of later on attached to it. Most likely it was something of a holiday even before that Exodus. So for Sukkot, it's kind of commemorating, in addition to the harvest, the 40 years of wandering through the desert where we were living in tents. Hence, those tabernacles.
Yeah.
It doesn't refer to as the Holy Ark Tabernacle, which is what I think of as the translation to the word. There's only one, arc, but each family or each individual person had their, tents, mobile shelters, whatever. That's what the word really means. So Feast of Booths is probably, sounds weird, but it's more accurate.
Those are all like kind of the translations and ways I've heard it described.
Right. That Feast of Booths is probably the best, even though it sounds weird even to my ears, but
yeah. It doesn't translate well, but
it doesn't translate. It's just shelter is the direct,
Val, you're getting your Jewish lesson.
I know, right? Yeah.
Here's your Hebrew school for the day. Congratulations.
The only lesson that I knew was, nah, man, you got to take it lower.
Yeah,
the price is too high.
Right.
or the Jewish lullaby. It's like, buy low, sell high.
There you go. Yeah.
Even I hadn't heard that one. That's kind of what I like. Forget swing low, sweet chariot.
It's the anti-Semitism hour of the Circle of Jerks podcast,
and that's why I'm here. Because if I wasn't, then it'd really be anti-Semitic.
Me and Rob both got our Jew cards.
You got your Jew cards. Yeah, you are considered.
Val is in the process,
honor, which is you are friends of the Jews, friends of the tribe.
Circle of Jerks are the friends of the Jews.
No, we'll make fun of you. We just won't kill you.
Yeah. And you know what? Based on history, I'll take that deal. All right, so that's me, and we're glad. Long of a summer.
We are glad you're back, and thanks you for the Hebrew.
It just makes fun. It just makes making fun of Jews more fun when there's a Jew around.
Yeah, that's
and here's the thing: we get more knowledge about like what they do,
and then we have more ammunition.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
For the future, I know.
Val's like, what the fuck did I just sign up to?
For the future? I don't like the way you said that, buddy. For what future? What are we planning here exactly?
Excellent.
just get up and run out. Shit, he knows too much.
Okay, I know when to.
We don't like your kind around here, boy.
Oh man,
what's going on, Val? It's good to have you here, man.
Hey, thank you for having me back. Dude, I've been doing a lot of stuff. I just moved into a house.
Nice.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. We just we started renting
an
a
adult
house.
now.
Yeah, man, making those adult moves. So yeah, we just got a house. Traveled a little bit since I've been here. My mom bought my plane ticket to Mexico because she was having her 50th birthday out there.
Oh, nice.
So she's like, you need to come. And I was like, damn, you know what? On the Friday, I'm just going to tell her, Mom, I can't go. I don't have enough money. I was like, I'm just going to bring up some excuse because I kind of didn't want to go. I was like, I got to fly out there,
Because you love Mexico.
Yeah. I was like, fuck, I gotta fly out there and I gotta miss work and I got bills to pay. I got so I was like, I don't want to spend $500-$600 on a damn plane ticket, So next she calls me and she's like, I bought your plane ticket. And I was like, okay, coming or going? And then she was like, no, I bought everything. Like the plane, round trip.
Nice.
You got a plane ticket. You don't even have to pay for crossing the border. And I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean crossing the border?
I
was like,
what smuggler airline?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
What crate of apples do I have to stone myself in?
She was like, yeah, you don't have to. I was like, Mom, did you buy me a plane ticket or a car right there? I'm not getting stuffed into a seat. All right.
Do I have to carry back a few teddy bears?
I was like, I don't want my stomach filled with nothing. All right.
It's like you're unwillingly a courier for
Let me be the first to say we're glad they let you back in, buddy.
So then she tells me, and that too, like I started to get worried. I'm like, am I gonna be able to come back?
Yeah.
I got to take my postal form, and just be like, dude, government.
Yeah.
I work for the government. But so my mom, she tells me, she's like, hey, I bought your ticket, come by. I was like, all right. So she buys me my ticket. She's like, your flight. I told her, I was like, I could only go for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. That's it. She's like, all right, no worries. Like the flight is only 2 hours. I was like, all right, cool. So I get over there. My cousin picks me up 7:00. I get right off of work too. At 7:00. We head down to San Diego. And my uncle's like, we have to cross the border to TJ, and then we'll get the plane from there. And I was like, dude, I'm not crossing any fucking streets at 2 a.m. and teaching. What's wrong with you? You know? Like, and then he's like, no, relax.
It isn't like when you grew up.
Yeah,
or even like 10 years ago. It's a lot worse than it was.
He's like, no, relax. It's a bridge that takes you across. I was like, all right. So I was like, I have nothing to worry about. All right, it's a bridge. We're going over everybody. I don't have to worry about it. So we get on the plane. It's I think it was like 2 a.m. Get on the plane, fly over there. I get there like around like 7:30 in the morning. I get to the ranch.
So
I tell my
2 hour
mom,
flight's already like 5 hours.
Yeah, but then
okay.
like the time shift, you know.
Fair enough.
So my cousin picks me up, my compadre picks me up, and then, I go visit the family. I'm like talking to everyone, and I was like, I'll take an hour nap, So I go upstairs. Everyone starts coming. I haven't seen you since you were a baby. And I'm like, God damn it, I don't even know who you are, dude. I'm like, let me sleep, But
gotta love those family reunions.
Yeah, so everyone's talking to me. My mom's like, hey, you know what? Help me out with the decorations. I'm like, Mom, I need to sleep, man. Like, keep in mind, I got to be back to work on Monday, and my flight leaves Sunday in the morning. So I'm there. I already have 2 days without sleep, And then I told my sister, I was like, you know what? Because the first thing my mom said to everyone in the ranch and that was invited, she was like, no drinking. Absolutely no drinking. And I told my sister, I was like, yeah, dude, that ain't flying with me.
Yeah.
I was
like, your family Mormon by any chance? What's going on?
And she was like, it's because, some stuff had happened with the two ranches that they were fighting or whatever. So I was like, I told my little sister, I was like, you know what? Where's the beer? She was like, it's in the back room. And I was like, all right. So I started taking from the bottom case. Right. I started taking like beer by beer, Right. I'm getting hammered throughout the day.
Right.
Yeah.
And then one of my aunts is like, oh, let's drink some tequila. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I started drinking some tequila, and then my little sister comes. She's like, hey, I was gonna save these for myself, but you can have them. So she gives me the what's it called, a Kraken. It's like Coke and like
rum.
Rum. So I was like, dude, this is bomb. I chug it.
Yeah.
And then by this time, I'm already getting like, oh shit, I'm drunk. I was like, I already know that I'm drunk.
Yeah, 3 sheets into the wind.
You've also mixed the hard liquors, the no.
Dude, I already mixed beer. I already mixed hard liquor, and I already mixed rum.
Beer
you broke all the rules.
Rum and tequila.
Exactly. So I'm outside, and I'm talking to everyone, and I'm just spewing out stuff, dude. I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, my Spanish somehow came out really good, so I was conversing with people, and then my mom, she comes and she gives me a bottle of champagne, and I'm already hammered. She gives me a bottle of champagne, and she's on the microphone and she's telling everyone how appreciate, she like, I appreciate everyone coming out here for my 50th birthday. She had a grand cake, grand entrance, she had church, everything. And she's like, yeah, and and she pauses and looks at me. Dude, I am chugging the champagne bottle.
Yes.
And then she was like, you motherfucker, on the thing. And she was like, I told everyone no drinking. The only person that didn't listen was my son. And then I'm just there with my champagne bottle. I'm like, what?
You gave it to me.
Yeah.
What are you was I not supposed to drink?
Yeah. And I was like, what do you want me to do with it? She was like, that was for the guests. You were supposed to pour it in there, for the toast. And I was just there, and I was like, all right, man, yeah, whatever you said. I downed the whole thing. Man. So my little sister was like, all right, you know what? You've had enough. Let's escort you to the room. So she escorts me to the room. Dude, I don't even know where I slept. I don't even know how I slept.
You know who you slept with.
I was like, I don't know what the hell happened, but I ended up passing out 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, I ended up passing out like 3 o'clock in the morning, like 2:30. That's what my sister said. She said that I finally fell asleep. And 4 o'clock, my alarm goes off because I have to be at the airport by 5:30, I think.
Jeez.
So 4 o'clock, my alarm goes off. I slept for an hour. I'm still drunk when I wake up. I wake up and my mom's holding me while I'm taking a piss, and I'm like, how did I even get here? And I'm looking at my mom like, what are you doing? She's like, you're drunk. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I'm trying to sober up. I'm like, I gotta chill. I got a flight right now, So then So my mom drops me off on the airport. She's like, "Are you gonna be okay?" And I was like, "I think so. I hope so." I was like, if I don't call you by noon, I'm dead. So
I'm swimming back.
Yeah, And then so my mom's like, "All right, just let me know when you're over there." I was like, "Okay." So finally, I get on the plane, and dude, I'm in the phase of like trying not to pass out and trying to stay awake. And then the lady next to me, she grabs my shoulder. She's like, "Look, it might be your first time flying. I know you're scared." And I was like, and I look at her, and I look at him I'm like, "Nah, lady, I'm still drunk."
I'm lit. Lady, I am lit.
Yeah, she was like, "Man, in that case, then you got nothing to worry about." But dude, man, so yeah, I flew over here drunk as hell, and I crossed the border. Luckily, I only had a backpack, so I didn't have to wait for my luggage. I didn't have to do it. Everything was such a breeze. I just, went in and out. My friend picked me up, so then I get back here. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good time. Then I also went to Seattle. I went to Seattle for a week with a couple of my friends, my girlfriend. Beautiful out there. The hikes were beautiful. The city was beautiful.
Puget Sound.
But some of the people were just not about it.
Get way too many hipsters up there, unfortunately.
Yeah. There was times where you go up to somebody, you're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they just stare at you.
Yeah.
And then they were like,
"Are you talking to me?"
Yeah, I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
dude?
I thought
you know what? In Seattle, if you're gonna go, and if I have a sick sense of humor, and like I have like
you don't say.
Yeah, like
I know. Hey, we found that out in the backstage.
Yeah, we know. And like I talk to a lot of people, but the older crowd, when you go to Seattle, I think you're gonna want to talk to the older crowd. We went out one night. And we took our scooters, right? So my best friend
can't take you anywhere.
For real, yeah. Come on, man. Come on. Get a grip. Where's your napkin on your lap?
You're sloppy, man. You're sloppy.
So my girlfriend, my best friend, and myself, we go out. We head out on our scooters because we're like we're gonna go to a bar.
Right.
So we hit this street. I forgot what street it was. We're on our scooters. First thing, I fall, dude, on the scooter. It's like 10 at night. We can't see a damn thing, And scooters, you hit one little
lights or whatever.
Dude,
those lights
some
don't
streets,
work.
some streets.
Oh, but I mean, the scooter itself doesn't have a light on it.
No. These are razors, man. These are razors. These are from like.
Okay, then.
Oh yeah, we assume.
Oh, so they're not like the bird or like the lime or whatever. Okay.
No, these are scooters that we had from kids, dude. If you fall on one, you better have a tetanus shot. They got rust on them, So yeah, we take off, dude. I'm the first to fall. I smacked my nuts on it. I couldn't see, and I hit a lip.
Yeah.
So then we get down to this. We get down to the Fremont Trail, and we go straight. Probably about like 10 minutes in, as we're scootering, dude. My girlfriend is in front of me. It's my best friend is in front. Then my girl's in the middle, and I'm in the back. And keep in mind, we're already drunk, so we're trying to hit a bar, already drunk, My girlfriend, she hits a lip on the sidewalk. All I see is her feet kick up, and she's midair, and I'm just watching this in slow motion. She eats it, and I look at her, I'm like, "Damn, are you okay?" And she turns around, she's like, "Yeah, I fell." And I was like, "Yeah,
yeah, no shit."
And I was like, "Yeah, I fell down." But yeah, it was so good, dude. Like everyone fell on a damn scooter out there. We took the scooters.
Right.
Everyone. My other friend Ricardo, he works in Glendale. He's part of the post office too. He works in Glendale. I kept peer pressuring. I'm like, "Dude, just take the scooter, man. Just take the scooter." He's like, "I don't know how to ride one of these, man." He was like, "I don't know how to bike. I don't know how to scooter. I don't know how to do anything." And I was like, "Dude, just don't worry about it. Just take a scooter." So we were going to try to go do a beer run in the scooters. And then I look at a hill and I'm like, "Dude, let's bomb this hill." Yes. And he looks at me. He's like, "Dude, I don't know if I could do it." I'm like, "You can do it, man. Don't worry about it." I was like, "This is a perfect hill. We have to do it." He's like, "All right, man. All right, cool. Let's bomb it." All right, cool. So I start going down the hill and we start bombing it. Dude, I look back. I see this guy on his stomach grinding the floor and the scooter is flying into the street. And I turned back. I'm like, dude, are you okay? He was like, my knees really hurt. He picks up his pants and his knees are just skinned. Man, it was such a good time. It was such a good time, man. It was such a good time. But yeah, I've been traveling. Like I said, we just got a house. We started renting right there near work. It's about 10 minutes away, so that's perfect. I wake up so late.
Yeah.
I get to work late.
One of the perks.
Somehow, somehow I still get to work late. But yeah, man. Given the fact that it's October and Halloween, I got some good spooky stories.
Let's hear it.
Oh yeah,
man.
Yes. Absolutely.
It was perfect, man.
USPS and Halloween. That's just a match made in
This
heaven.
is because we just started renting this house, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we don't have too much of a background check, so we don't have too much of the history of the house. I got to start looking into it. I need to start looking into it.
Right.
So yeah, the first Saturday that I was staying there, my girlfriend was like, you know what, I'm gonna stay over, and I was like, all right, cool. So she stays over, and a couple of my friends came over. We're drinking, and then finally they left. We fell asleep. We're starting to fall asleep, Dude, it's 3 a.m, 4 a.m, sometime that time. I wake up. And all I hear is someone just going through the drawer of knives and like spoons and all that.
Yeah, I hear the clattering.
Silverware.
So it's like,
And I'm like, damn, like what the hell is she doing? Like she's making a midnight snack, But dude, I put my hand behind me and I feel her and I was like, oh shit, my girlfriend's right here, And I was like, so
where's the baseball bat?
Yeah. And I was like, oh shit,
those aren't pillows.
So then the next day, my girl's like, hey, did you hear what happened in the kitchen? Like I heard someone just going through the drawer of silverware. I was like, dude, I heard the exact same thing. And I was like, I thought it was just me. She was like, no, I heard it. And I was like, oh damn, that's crazy. So that was the first thing. Second thing, I was there alone. I'm in my room setting stuff up. I'm setting my bed up and all that stuff. I'm putting everything together, and I hear someone just walking, and I'm thinking it's my girlfriend or her mom. Because my girlfriend and her mom are moving stuff in because we're all gonna live together. So I'm thinking it's either her girlfriend or her mom that just walked in the door. As I'm putting my bed together, I hear someone in the living room. So I'm like, oh, it's just them, Dude, I hear it clear as day as someone just walking for about 2 minutes too, because I'm putting the bed, I'm doing my stuff, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go check who it is, So I get up, it's dark, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? The lights aren't on, I'm like, who's walking around, like walking in circles or what,
Right.
So then I go turn on the light, nobody's there, like no one. And I was like, all right, that's a little, I'm just gonna close my door. I'm gonna stay in my room.
Just back away.
Yeah, I was like,
hey, not today, Satan.
Yeah, I was like, screw the rest of the house.
See here.
And then so that was the second occurrence. And then the most recent one was my girl and I on Monday. I get off of work. She tells me, she's like, babe, we have to do this and this and that. I was like, all right. I was like, I don't want to do anything. It's Monday. I'm super exhausted, but screw it. Just come over. So she comes over. I'm putting the TV stand together. And as I'm putting the TV stand together, it's like 1 a.m, and she's talking to me, I'm talking to her, I'm putting everything, I'm screwing down the screws down. Dude, on the roof, it sounded like the devil himself just landed on it. It sounded so hard. It sounded like someone just landed on the roof, just 2 feet, just boom.
Oops, Santa Claus a few months
I know.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I was like,
Santa.
I was like, did the Fat Man come early for me? And like we both look up and we're like, what the fuck? And my girl looks up too, and I was like, okay, I didn't just hear that, she heard it too.
Right,
dude. We hear three fucking steps. Like it sounded like they had iron boots on,
Right.
like 3 steps, just boom, boom, boom on the roof. And my girl's like, dude, that's human. And I was like, yeah, I know. So like all I had was like a screwdriver. She grabs the little bat that I have, a little Dodger bat.
A souvenir bat.
Yeah,
fight off the ghost.
So I was like, dude, fuck it, I'm stabbing somebody, And so yeah, we grab a flashlight, we go outside. I'm looking at the tree, nothing. I'm looking at the roof, nothing. I'm looking in the bushes, nothing. Keep in mind, the attic is only about like the attic, we probably have about 1.5 feet of clearance in the attic, so it's not like someone's
just crawl
jumping up
space,
there, you
right?
know?
Yeah, it's basically a crawl space.
Yeah, a little crawl space, you know. It's like not even a little person could jump up
It's not
there.
like a Greg.
You know?
It's not like a Greg Brady's like bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and you know, so me and my girlfriend were like, "Oh shit, that was trippy." But if I was by myself and I heard these things, I'd be like, "Okay, maybe it's something."
Yeah,
you know,
maybe
that
it's
I'm
a
just
raccoon.
imagining it.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
but I'm like, dude, my girl's sitting there, like right there, listening to this shit too. So that was pretty interesting. Like that, you know. I mean, it is October and it's kind of Halloween, you know. But other than that, like I was just like, dude, it's crazy how these things happen, you know. I mean, it's pretty cool and it's scary at the same time.
Yeah.
Is your place a 2-story or 1-story?
No, it's just one.
One story.
Just one. Dude,
Is it in Chatsworth?
No, it's in Winnetka. It's right there, a little street right after Parthenia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
familiar
I
with
know
the
you.
area.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know, one of my routes is like the street over on Nordhoff. So I'm like, now I could go take lunch at my house, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? I was like, but yeah, no, it was a trip, you know? I mean, they said that the lady lived there for a long time and, you know, nothing has ever occurred, you know, but.
Spoiler alert, she's still living there.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because my friend Peter, who's been on the podcast, and we I used to hang out at his house all the time, and there was a lady next door to his house who we think was sacrificing cats.
Oh, jeez.
I love how we just went straight there.
I know,
yeah. I wasn't sure what I was about to hear, but it wasn't that.
we kind of figured that she was doing some bad things.
So a cat went in, just didn't
come
come
out.
out.
Yeah.
Well, we would
Sacrificing
find like
cats.
random cat
Pretty
parts
specific.
around like the neighborhood.
Oh,
And
scattered.
when she was
Well,
being
okay.
evicted, like the guy was like came to my friend's house and is like, I don't know what the fuck I'm seeing, but like you guys had to see this. They're like, we're like teenagers at the time.
yeah,
We're like 16 at the time,
Mhm.
and we're like, okay, like, you know, like, which is probably a dumb idea for the ones like this random stranger comes to our house, like you got to see
Gotta see
this.
this.
Yeah,
Can I have some candy first?
I know, right? It's in my van.
Yeah.
I know.
He's got a robe on.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, want to check out my grape van?
Yeah.
It has cushion carpet in it.
Oh man, it looks like the Mystery Mobile from Scooby Doo, guys.
But no, he takes us next because he's at this house next door to my friend's house. And
Robert,
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, this story is going, it's moving fast.
Yeah.
You just went with a guy that you don't know, and he took you somewhere.
I was with Peter, so like if it,
Oh, okay, that makes it
That
better.
makes it a lot better.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me; it was my best friend.
yeah. So you know, hey, if we're gonna die, fuck it. You know,
Right,
if we're
yeah,
gonna
I
die-
got someone with me.
Yeah, exactly. So we go to this like, and he opens up the garage door, and it is lined with these fucking cages. You know, like animal cages,
Yeah.
and like you see like, and the cages are probably like I would say maybe about as like half as tall as this table.
Okay.
So like, and they're stacked on top of each other. So there's like 2 or 3 cages on top of one another.
Okay.
All of them are filled to almost the brim with shit, like cat shit.
Oh,
And at the top is like these cats, like,
Oh god.
and it's like,
boy.
and we were like, what the fuck is going on? Why are we here? You know, it's like, why did you like?
you're like, I wanted to see something cool, man. He's like, wait, no, that's not the best part. It's in the van.
Yeah.
no. But seriously, like, so. Anyways, so we think that this lady was doing some sort of weird
some
witchcraft.
weird stuff with the
Yeah,
cats.
because like we would find these dead cat parts. Like, I mean, not like the dead cat, like
Yeah.
but no, like
Yeah,
paw
like,
ripped
yeah.
off, like tail ripped off, like somewhere. It's like and yeah, well, and it's like and the whole neighborhood that he was in, which is like literally right around the corner from where we work.
Okay.
It's like his house, her house. Everything is dead. The trees are dead. The grass is dead. Nothing.
Mhm.
Everything else around it, green.
Yeah.
It's like what
It's like a bad vibe. That's
Yeah, exactly.
I believe in that
Going on
stuff,
there.
man. Just a bad vibe, dude. Today, at my girlfriend's house, helping her move stuff. Okay, she a while ago, she told me she had a dream. She's like, I think she texted me or she called me. I forgot. No, she called me because she was like frantic, and she was like, babe, I just had this weird dream. I had a dream that I was in my bed and I saw this demon outside my window. First there was a crow, but it looked like it was hurt, so she went outside to go try to help the crow. And when she was looking at the crow, she looked at it and she's like, the crow looked funny. So when she got closer to the crow, she noticed that it was a dummy, and that when she looked in through the crack, she saw like a black like shadowy demon. And she was like, I knew he wanted to alert me, so I ran back in and I was trying to find my mom, and I was crying, and she's like, I woke up and I was fucking crying, and I was like, dude, that's scary,
Yeah.
Dude, today I'm helping her move her shit from her house, and she has a fence that's maybe about like 5 feet tall, that leads to the backyard,
Yeah.
So I'm there, and as I'm loading, I felt like someone was just kind of looking at me. So I look and I see like a shadowy, like a black figure. Like I saw it clear as day. Like I saw it, and it was like this over the fence. And when I looked at it, it just,
disappeared,
dashed behind the house. And I was like, that was like a quick ass dash. I was like, what the fuck? So I went over to look. And then I told my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, were you in the backyard, or was your mom back? And I was like, nah, your mom can't move that fast. Like, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, were you in the backyard? And then she was like, no, I've been inside the house the whole time, And I was like, dude, that was creepy, But it's crazy because, like, when you witness shit like this, a lot of people, some people are skeptics, but other people, like, I feel like you're attracted to it, like
I had somewhat of a similar situation, but this was back in high school, and I was sleeping. It was late at night, and my mom used to work nights, and she used to get home, kind of early in the morning, and I remember kind of like half like awake, and I see like this shadowy figure standing over me with red eyes, right? And and then I like, because I was frightened. I was like, I reacted, I was like, ah, and then all of a sudden, like my vision comes like a little bit clearer, and it's my mom, and she freaks out because I freaked out. So we freaked out each other. But I was like, damn, that's really scary though. That's like, I saw this shadowy figure with glowing red eyes, but then it was my mom.
I'm telling you, like, I feel like certain people are attracted to it, whether you like it or not, because when I was staying at my dad's house, when I was growing up there, my room was all the way at the end, and at the end of the hallway. So just like at the end of the hallway, every night for some time, I would always hear someone walking towards my room, and I thought it was my dad, like I thought it was my dad. I'm like, oh, my dad's just trying to check up on us, because I would sneak out sometimes, so, so I'm like, oh, it's just my dad, and I would listen to the footsteps, and like get to the door, but sometimes like the footsteps would just never go back. It just, they would come and they would stop. That's it, So one day I heard him, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna open up the door on my dad, So I hear the footsteps, and then I hear him just like I'm waiting at the door. So I hear the footsteps and they stop, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna open it. I'm just gonna say I gotta go to the bathroom, So I open it, like I swung it open, dude. I swung it open, but it like flew off my hand, so it hit the wall hard. And I look and I'm like, dude, there's nobody there. It's dark too, So when the door hit the wall like really hard, my dad, he was snoring, but then like I heard him wake up. He's like, like what the hell was that, And then I just walked by and I was like, oh, sorry, I gotta use the bathroom, but nobody was ever at the door, And my girlfriend, when she started dating me, she was never really a believer in that stuff, She was like, I don't really believe in that, like it's kind of whatever. The first thing that happened to her, she was in her house, and as she's in her house, there was like a breeze. She said she felt a breeze, and after the breeze passed, she said that she thought she heard her. She's like, I'm positive 100% that my mom, she's like, I heard my mom or someone call my name from like their rooms, So she started walking, and then that she got to her room, she's like, wait, my mom's not even home, She's like, oh shit, But she's like, I heard it like clear as day, and I was like, all right. And And then one day, I told her, I was like, you know what? Take my truck, take it to my dad's house, because my parents and my little sister and my older sister, they had gone to like Reno. And I told my girl, I was like, just stay with me. I was like, take the truck, go to the house, chill for a bit. I'm off at, like, I think it was like 4 a.m. I was like, come pick me up, She's like, oh, okay. And then, dude, she goes 15 minutes later while she's in the house. She texted me. She's like, oh, I'm here at the house, babe. And I'm like, all right, cool. 15 minutes later, she's like, I'm hearing shit. She's like, I'm hearing shit. She's like, I'm scared. And I was like, all right, babe, don't, like, I'll try to get this shit done so I could get off by like 1 at least, Yeah. So I get off at 1 and I tell her, and then she's like, she showed up like half an hour before my shift even ended, like 45 minutes, because she was so scared.
Right.
So she pulls up and she's like, dude, I'm hearing all kinds of shit. Like, I heard someone walking, I heard someone call my name, like one of the, like all kinds of crazy stuff. Right. And I was like, all right.
The cliche, haunted
weird
house kind
shit.
of thing.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe that house is haunted, So yeah, I was, I take off with her, and we're at the house. We closed my door, and dude, we had a black screen door, and then we had a wooden door, right? So we're in the room and we're talking, and we just hear a knock, just like on the wooden door. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh shit, I think my family came back early, because I didn't tell them that she was gonna stay over.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, damn, I think my family came back early. And then she was like, oh damn it. I was like, whatever. I was like, it is what it is, So we go to the door. I open up the door, and I was like, as I open up the door, like a crack in, I told my girl, I was like, wait, it was a knock on the wooden door, right? And then she was like, yeah. I was like, the screen door is there, like it's closed.
Right, so screen door, then
it's
wooden
screen door, and then wooden door. And I was and then my girl was like, oh fuck that, close the door. So I closed the door. But yeah, dude, like that house that my dad was in, like that, that my dad's in, like, dude, it was just crazy shit, And there's like so many things that have happened to us that is just nuts. And like, how people say like, oh, I'm a skeptic because I've never seen that. I've never witnessed that. And I'm like, oh, well, that's fine. Like, I feel like that some people don't witness it.
Right.
But then there's other people that do, that do experience stuff, because when we went to Rosarito, it was my grandma, my grandpa, my mom, my dad, my 2 sisters, and myself, right? Mm-hmm. So my dad, of course, is Rosarito. He was like, you never know. You never know. Mm-hmm. So what he would do is he would put chairs in front of the doors. So if someone tried to break in through the door, they had to like really kick the shit out of it to, break the chair and the door. So one night, we're staying at this hotel. My dad puts the chair. Dude, these chairs were like, I'm talking about like Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, solid.
Fucking chopped them down himself.
Yeah, like
they were solid. Yeah,
like,
they were heavy. And he put one in front of each door. And one of the doors was I think it was a 2-way door, so he put 2 on that one. I'm sleeping in the room with my 2 sisters and my grandparents. My mom and my dad are in the other room. Dude, it's late. Keep in mind, my cousin had just passed away. That's why we wanted to take our grandparents out. So get their minds off and stuff.
Right.
It's like midnight. Maybe 1 a.m. We hear the damn chairs getting tossed around like they're toys. Like everyone got up. I'm talking about everyone. My grandpa was like, what the fuck is that? So he got up. And then I just hear my dad in the next room, trying to grab something to like, beat the hell out of somebody, So he runs out and he tells us stay in the room, and then turns on the lights. Dude, nothing isn't moved. Everything is in its place. Nothing has moved. Like nothing. Like, how do you explain that? Like 6 people just heard the same thing. Exact same thing.
Well, it's funny you said that, like, the story with like, with like, the footsteps that, at your door, right? So I've told this story before. It was with my friend Peter. I was like I said, I stayed at his house a lot of the time, and his dad was notorious for kind of a deadbeat dad, to be honest. Okay. But anyways, like he would like wander around at night, and typical like Korean dad, like it's like heavy-handed, heavy-footed, kind of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, and during the summer, and his house like had no air conditioning, so it was fucking hot.
Yeah.
So we would sleep out in the living room because we would open up the back door to like let the air come in. And it's like, oh, thank God we have like some sort of like relief.
Yeah.
But I woke up and it's like, oh God, it's like I had to piss really bad.
Yeah.
And it's like it's dark, so your eyes have adjusted to the dark, so you can kind of see what's going on. Yeah, like and his dad were like, I heard this do like going to the kitchen, and you had to like kind of go through the kitchen to like where the bathroom's at.
Okay.
And I see like this shadow, and like his dad's kind of a big dude, and so I was like, and I see this giant shadow like in the kitchen, like, and I was like, and I was saying like, sometimes you just don't want to turn the light because like, fuck,
right, yeah,
exactly. So I was like, and so I see the shadow, and I heard the footsteps too. I was like, sorry, like, can I turn on the light because I can't see, like I need to be able to go to the bathroom. Yeah. I turn on the light. Fucking nothing there.
Nobody's there.
And I was like, all right, I guess I'm not going to the bathroom. I'll fucking piss my pants. Like, fuck that.
Like, I'm gonna piss outside on my way home.
Yeah. But I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's ghosts or demons or whatever the fuck
it is. Yeah.
There's something to that where it's like it is some sort of phenomena, like where it's, I don't know if we're in like this crossing of dimensions or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Like
the old ley lines.
Yeah. Like people say,
like if it's like Fringe or some shit.
Right.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like
mass hysteria.
Not
mass hysteria.
Not everything has an explanation. You know what I mean? Not everything has an explanation. Like scientists want to explain everything so bad, but it's like I feel like some stuff is just unexplainable.
Yeah. Or there is an explanation, but not everyone believes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like there is an explanation. Yeah, because like I said, there's things that happen in this world that we have no control over. Yeah. There's things that happen in this world that we cannot explain. There's things that happen, that are out of our control. And like I'm telling you, it's just growing up. Dealing with all this stuff, like especially being Hispanic, like Hispanics are very into the spiritual world.
Yeah, I saw Coco.
I'm an expert.
Yeah. Calm down. But like I mean, this is like Nightmare Before Christmas. Maybe I think that's where you're getting your stuff from. But no, like for real, I think that we are very into that stuff where we do see it, like kind of like how they say like the facade or whatever, like the fairy does, it's not real and stuff. But I feel like just like Peter Pan said, if you believe, you're gonna fly. You know what I mean? I feel like it's
it's not. I think he was talking about a different kind of powder. You know what I'm saying?
That'll have you.
He was flying high. I tell you.
That will really have you flying.
And then he flew right off the roof, and he was still flying.
You're like, how do you survive that? How do you survive that fall?
Let's just put it this way: flying high was not necessarily what you think of flying high.
Right? Yeah, it's like gets up, and I don't think that's snow on his face. But yeah, like no, I mean, dude, we have countless stories. Countless stories of just crazy stuff that has happened to us. I remember when I was younger. My mom said that the school teacher that in Mexico, the house that my grandpa had bought was a school teacher's house, right? But she was born in like the 1800s, so she still wore those big Victorian dresses with the hats and all that, she still wore all that stuff. My mom said that when she would hang out in front of the house sometimes, she would see this lady in old Victorian style walking from like one end of the street to the other end, and on the other end there was nothing. It was just pitch black because out there in Mexico they don't have, sometimes they don't have lights,
right
yeah. But it would just it would turn pitch black and you couldn't see anything, so the lady would walk from one side to the other and she would be dressed in Victorian clothing. And my mom's like, I never saw her feet. She was like, I never saw her feet. Ever. I could never see her feet.
Was she like gliding?
Yeah, like gliding, So my mom's like, I could never see her feet. And this is what like gets me thinking about this stuff, because my mom told me that story, right? About the school teacher,
Right.
I think it's the lady that sold the house to my grandfather. My little cousin, one day, we're in my uncle's house, and then she was like, oh, look, it's that lady again. And I look out the window, I'm like, there's nobody there. She's like 4 or 5 years old. And I was like, Chelly, there's nobody out there, man. And then she was like, no, she just went over there. And I was like looking, and I was like, no, Mama, there's nobody out there. And then she was like, yeah, like she's wearing like weird clothes. And I was like, well, what do you mean kind of weird clothes? And then she was like, yeah, she's wearing like this big dress and she has a big hat. And I'm like, oh shit, that's that Victorian stuff,
Yeah.
And then she was like, ew, but she turned around and her face is all bloody. And I was like, whoa.
What
I was like,
the fuck?
And it's a trip, because my mom said she never saw that lady's face. So my little cousin said that she saw the lady's face, and it was like mutilated and bloody. And I was like, what the hell? Dude,
Sweet Jesus.
So,
It's all about your crazy cat lady. It's all your crazy cat. Because that's what you saw going on that fence of your house.
Right.
And dashing behind the fence, it was clearly
It's all
a dead
connected,
cat. Yeah,
right?
it's all good.
And Rob's like, witch that sacrifices cats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's landing on the roof are the cats that
well, here's the funny thing, because you and I have talked about this, Dan, like where there has to be some sort of truth somewhere, like because there's certain stories that have transcended time, where it's like all these people are having similar experiences with certain like creatures or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like there has to be some sort of truth. Like, I mean, every civilization has some sort of like flood narrative.
Yes.
Right.
Dragons.
Yeah.
And there always seems to be some sort of a kind of this like ghosts, whatever you want to call it, ghosts or whatever.
You're right. It's too much of a coincidence that literally every culture, every religion has their spirit stories of some kind, and so many of them overlap to almost being identical, even from opposite parts of the world.
Right, and it's like well, obviously we're not all connecting like entirely, like, oh well, I saw it, so I saw it too. It's not even just like within our own time period, it's throughout time, like where people are seeing this shit. And people don't know how to explain it. Like what actually even a famous story in the Bible is when Jesus is walking across the water, and the apostles are in the boat, and they're like, what the this is my own language, not the actual biblical. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Read that in the Bible.
Gospel according to Paul.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
But it's like they thought that they were seeing a ghost. So it's like that's 2,000 years ago. So I mean, even then, they're thinking that they're seeing some sort of spirit or ghost. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And they were afraid because of that. It's like, what is this?
Yeah.
And so the fact that like we can't just dismiss it, because it's not just nothing.
You know what got me thinking was, how people believe in dragons and all that stuff. You got to think about it. If you look at modern times, everything that we create in scary movies, in comic books, and whatever it may be, it's always a human, right?
Right.
Dracula, the monster of the
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Even the werewolf is a man.
The werewolf, he's a
Creature
man
of the Black Lagoon.
Creature of the Black. He still has hands.
Humanoid.
But then you think about it, it's like, okay, like who thought of a dragon? Like, we're always thinking about human stuff, how like humans change, but like someone must have seen a dragon to be like, you know what, like that's something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not human.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But then it doesn't really account for like the chimeras or like the amalgam monsters, where it's like, head of this, feet of that, wings of this.
Yeah, but also that too, like I feel like, I was thinking this the other day, because if you think about it, they say like, we have past civilizations that have like died out, right? And if you think about it, dude, we have stuff that was built 100 years ago that it's gone now. It's deteriorated.
Yeah.
Like what? Who's to say that? Past civilizations and things like didn't deteriorate.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean? Like you got to think about that stuff. Like everything is just history. Like it eventually gets sucked back into the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's what like trips me out.
Yeah, the destiny of all civilizations, empires, is to become dust again.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. From what is it? From
ashes
from
to
ashes to dust to dust. There you go. Yeah.
Word.
Yep.
All right.
Well, we had we have a second guest coming in, so that's why I had to. That was, but yeah, it's crazy like how we're throughout time, different different civilizations, cultures, whatever that are not connected in many way, they're talking about these same type of stories. So it's like so there has to be there's some sort of truth to it in some way. And yeah, I always find that like stuff kind of fascinating. Like it's stuff that it is unexplained, and I think so. You always have those skeptics who are like, nah, it's, and even people who are not skeptics and they're like, oh, we definitely know what it is. Like, no, you don't. We don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know if it's like people call them ghosts. Sometimes people call them demons, spirits. We just don't know.
It's crazy because, like, I mean, in the English language, you have, in America, you have the boogeyman.
Yeah.
In Russia, you have the what's it called, the Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
Baba. Yeah. And then
or John Wick.
Yeah. And in Mexico, you have El Cucuy.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same, and it's like Russia is
different name,
miles
describing
away,
the same people,
the same person,
or the same thing, or phenomenon.
same thing. Yeah, like this guy comes for your children and takes them out, and you never see him again.
Right.
And it's just crazy how people can relate to all these things.
Right.
You look at like the pyramids. How is it that the Aztecs were able to build pyramids? They were like, oh, let's put 4 walls together and build them up like at a slant angle, and it'll last forever.
And actually, in similar fashion to the Egyptians,
Egyptians,
and like, and not even like obviously they were a different style, but like the precision was like insane.
But the footprint is like the square basically is the same size as the one in Egypt.
In Egypt, yeah.
Yep.
And you know what's crazy? I just found out that, well, not just found out, but maybe a while ago, that the pyramid in Mexico is actually built on top of like 3 other pyramids or something like that,
Jesus,
or like 2 other pyramids. Yep. And the inner pyramid, so they looked into the outer pyramid. They're like, okay, they found a pyramid inside, and they were like, wait, okay, who built this? And I think they found out who built it, but then there's another pyramid, and they're like, okay, someone else built this. So it's a pyramid built on top of a pyramid built on top of.
That's why they have so much room for those fucking skulls.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sure they didn't like just build it with the skulls.
Yeah. It's like instead of wall insulin, it's just skull insulin.
We have aliens building the original pyramids. Meeting Inception. Pyramids.
Yeah, but that's a trip. Scientists don't know like who built the original like foundation of that pyramid.
Right.
It's just crazy, and like I said, how is it that this civilization that was on this part of the world doing this while the other side of the world was doing the exact same thing? Well, similar.
Right. And
similar.
And I think that's the fun part about life is because we're always searching for answers and we're always wanting to know why things work, where things came from, all that stuff. Yet we're always, running into we answer one question, we come up with 10 more.
Yes.
And so I think it adds to like the mystery. Of it.
Yeah. I think it's the mystery and the thrill that we all love, It's like when you go on a hike or when you go on an adventure that you don't know what's ahead and you're just so fascinated by it, because imagine you were able to live life to the complete fullest, where you're able to travel wherever you want, wherever you do whatever you want, and you're only like 30, and you're like, damn, what do I do now? You know, what do I do now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you saw one ghost, you saw one extraterrestrial, you saw one demon. You know, you're just like, well, I seen it all and done it all. Like, what do I do now? You know, so that's why I think that, like, every time something comes up in our lives, or you know, there's these great mysteries, I think it's something that adds value to our life. You know, it's not something that just happens just because. You know.
Well, I think even too, like, you know, because I always hear like, oh, I'm so bored. It's like, how are you bored, dude?
Yeah,
Like, life is crazy.
Yeah.
If you're bored, then you're boring.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're a boring person yourself.
Yeah.
You know, dude, I'm like, I'll go and read some weird stuff. You know, like I'll go and read some.
I'll
weird
get into
stuff,
some weird shit.
Yeah, you know,
Like, you know, it's you know, kind of speaking of the ghost stories, because you told us about like a lot of the jobs that you have you know, done
That
in
I've
your life
done.
and all,
Oh,
like
dude,
some
I've
of the
had-
stories.
dude, man, dude, I've had. All right, so first I was in UPS. I was working there for about a year and a half. You know, I used to, you know, put a little something in my nose to get that, you know, you know. So I was
That's how that fairy does, huh?
yeah, that was
Booger sugar.
Yeah, right.
That's
that
how
was
that
that
fairy dust
facade,
going.
you know. Yeah, I was employee of the month for like 8 months, man. Yeah, man, it was funny, dude.
That
Like,
stuff makes you go.
it was tough to get fired from there. I'm not gonna lie. I called out.
See, this is what I love about the podcast. I learn shit about people that I know and love.
I literally called out for like a week and a half.
What?
And
They
then,
didn't
like,
fire you?
No.
What
I
the
came
hell?
back. I came back one day, just didn't say shit, and I just got in the trailer, and my boss. You know, the funny thing, because back then I worked there from about 2010 to 2011. Dude, my manager and my boss, dude, man, they used to yell at us, man. Like, I remember one of my supervisors. I'm not gonna say which hub. I'm not gonna say which supervisor.
Whatever,
You know,
yeah,
but
whatever.
yeah, one of my supervisors was a big dude. You know, like big, huge. He used to play like minor league football or something, something like that.
Yeah.
Or
CFL.
junior league football. Yeah, whatever it was. Or no, he played for a short time for the Dolphins or something like that. And
Oh shit.
dude, one day,
His name wasn't Finkel, was it?
no, it wasn't Finkel.
What's his name? Dwayne Johnson.
He didn't turn into the female, you know,
Yeah, right,
to the female.
Einhorn.
Yeah, Einhorn, yeah. Einhorn.
This is the real Ace Ventura, ladies and gentlemen.
I was Ace Ventura. They called me Jose Ventura.
They call you
Dude.
Hey.
Did you say
Hey.
that talking? Hey.
That one rings. That one
Hey,
rings.
Ventura.
Dude, but yeah, one day this guy, he's just yelling at me. He's like, hurry up, you fucking, you know, faggot, this and that, you know, just screaming his lungs out. This was back then before this whole PC shit.
Whatever.
Bullshit.
You can do whatever. Say
Yeah.
whatever you want.
And so yeah, he's yelling at me, yelling his lungs out at me, and I'm like, man, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm going. You know, I was like, I'm going. I'm loading as fast as I can. And keep in mind, I was drunk in there. You know, I'm drunk in the trailer.
You're
you know?
drunk and like on coke.
Yeah, I'm just like,
You're freaking Denzel in
Yeah.
Lights, you know?
dude, I'm trying to build this.
You're landing
wall, you
planes,
know?
man. It's like, what the fuck difference does it make? It's like, I'm landing planes.
I'm building walls, man. I'm just like in the goddamn trailer, you know. And so finally, this dude just screaming his lungs out at me, dude. I just see this package just boop, just right on his head from the conveyor belt. The conveyor belt's up about like 30 feet up in the air, you know.
Oh shit.
So this
And I
package
killed him.
Yeah,
It was a
dude.
bowling ball.
Dude, this package comes, hits him right on the head. I start laughing. I cannot stop laughing. And he's like, "You want to go home?" And I was like, "Fuck it." And he was like, "Go home then."
That's some like Three Stooges shit.
Dude, it was so funny. I go home, I take off. The next day I come back.
Go home, chowder head.
Yeah. No, I didn't have a hit that time. I come back and I'm grumpy as fuck, you know. And he looks at me and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he looks at me, just shakes his head. Dude, the next day they told me that the package that fell on his head was like a good 20 pounds. It was like 22
Fuck,
pounds.
dude. Like, how did he not die?
I know.
He was
30 feet too.
Dude, he was a big Samoan dude. He was a big Samoan.
So he was like a middle linebacker.
Dude,
for,
yeah, he was.
offense.
I remember one time.
Those are the Dominicans of like football.
Yeah,
Maybe that's true.
I was trying to lift this drum. It was this drum, and it was about 100 pounds. It must have had powder or something in it, you know. And I'm trying to lift it onto the dock because the dock's raised about 4 feet up off the ground. I'm trying to raise it up to the dock, and he comes up to me. He was like, "Come on, you damn pussy!" He grabs it, chucks it up there, and I'm like, "God damn, dude, you're like 300 pounds. I'm 125 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you think I could do that? You know?" He's like, "You're such a bitch," and I'm like, wow, really? I was like, this is my supervisor talking to me, you know?
I miss those days,
Yeah,
by the way.
dude, I was talking to this. Dude, I'm talking
I really miss being, demeaned.
I know, right? Yeah, like I really
Constantly
do.
yelled
Though.
at.
I really do. Like,
That's funny because it reminds me of this one coker I used to have when I used to work at Goodwill, and he was like from Kenya, and he'd always tell me about how like when the women like would get together, they'd go say, "Oh, I do not think my husband loves me anymore." It's like, why not? It's like, "Oh, because he has not beaten me in three weeks."
Jesus Christ. That's gonna trigger a couple of things.
10 years ago, yeah.
That's gonna trigger a couple of people. Good.
Well, how could they say that?
Dude,
But it's so funny that they construed like the beatings as a form of love.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
Hey,
like
that
I
was
was like,
attention,
if you're, at least they know like they feel some type of way about.
Yeah,
them.
it's always in the culture.
Those were the days.
Dude, like I was talking to one of the guys that I this business that I pick up from. I was talking to him, and he's like, yeah, dude, I work at UPS. He works loading the trucks. He's like, yeah, for a peak season, my boss got a little angry, and I was like, a little? I was like, dude, we used to get yelled at every.
My boss called me
hour.
a faggot.
Yeah, I'm like, we used to get yelled
before
every
lunch.
hour, dude.
He yelled at me.
Like, dude, we had like no. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm going to the bathroom. You have 5 minutes. Yeah, right, dude. 5 minutes. I'm not gonna drop a deuce in 5 minutes, dude. But yeah, we used to get away with so much. I used to love it, Then after that, I was like, you know what? This is not bringing in enough money. I'm gonna switch to McDonald's. I go to McDonald's, dude, and I'm there. I used to get paid like about $218. I think that's what my average check was at UPS a week. So it wasn't that much.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta get something better. So my girlfriend, she's like, at the time we were just kind of back and forth on Facebook. She's like, come to McDonald's. I work here. This and that. I've been working for years. I was like, all right, cool. So I head over there, dude. And I'm not gonna say her name. I'm not gonna say which McDonald's it was,
All
but
right.
dude, we used to. I used to go in there drunk as fuck.
So what we're learning is that you were fucked up most of the time.
I'm picking up on a pattern.
Yeah, it was. Dude, I show up one day to her house. Well, first of all, I went to the liquor store and I bought a vodka, a bottle of vodka, right? Raspberry, I think it was.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I throw it into
Every story starts and ends.
You have 12 steps in your life at some point, right?
No, I don't.
That story, yeah.
The bad part is I haven't gotten there yet. Dude, so like I put this whole bottle of vodka inside of a styrofoam cup,
Jesus Christ.
And
How big is the styrofoam?
Yeah, what's
it
going
was
on?
it was a large styrofoam cup. Like, so my little
Big
sister's looking at me, and she's like, "Hey, bro, don't you got work in like 2 hours?" And I was like, yeah. And I'm just chugging it away, and she's watching me just chugging this fucking whole
Jesus
bottle away, dude.
Oh man.
And then she was like, I'm just drinking away, and I'm just watching a movie. She comes back later and she's like, "Hey, you have to shower because you got to go to work." And at this time, I'm like, oh, yeah, you know? So I go to the bathroom, you know, I shower and everything. I get ready. My girlfriend texts me. She's like, hey, you know, are you going to pick me up before work, right? And I was like, fuck, I've completely forgot. So I was like,
I gotta drive.
That sweet vodka made me forget.
and I was like, I was ready to ask my older sister, she was visiting us. I was ready to ask her for a ride. And I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, no, I got to go pick up my girlfriend. So I was like, yeah, don't trip, man. Yeah,
I got this.
yeah, don't worry, man.
Dude, you're so Denzel from Flight.
Where's my scooter?
I go to the liquor store and I was like, ice cream. I gotta have ice cream. I was like, this will sober me up. So I eat like, you know, 2 of those strawberry crunch, you know,
the strawberry cheesecake, like
yeah, the strawberry, yeah, it's the shortcake. So I ate 2 of those.
Jeez.
And I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't eat lunch. And it's like 2 p.m. already. So I'm racing to my girlfriend's house because we got to be there like about like 2:30, 3 o'clock, whatever it was.
Right.
So I'm like, shit, we're late for our shift. So I'm eating the ice cream as I'm driving. And as I'm driving, I start noticing, I'm like, fuck, I can't see anything. Dude, my head is tilted out the window. And I'm like, I can't see anything because the truck is like
divider,
right.
Yeah.
You know,
The A-pillar.
Yeah, you know, so I'm like looking, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta pick my head up. You know, I'm trying to like talk to myself as I'm driving, you know? And then my girl's like, where are you? And I was like, man, I'm going. Damn, relax, you know? I'm like, it's taking me some time, you know? And
Mind your business. That's not
I don't know at what point from my house to my girlfriend's house that I threw up. But I got to her house and she's like, what's all this red shit on your truck? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, just get in. We got to go to work.
You might.
And then dude,
Oh man. Oh.
she takes one look at me. She's like, how fucked up are you? And I was like, oh, no, just get in.
I just had 2 ice cream bars and a whole bottle of vodka, but 2 ice cream bars.
You sound like a member of my family.
So I'm like, just get in, man. And then
I think we need to bypass the intervention.
You
Just
know,
go
like-
straight to like step 5 of the 12 step.
so dude, she gets in and then she's like, baby, you need to slow down. And I was like, why? I look at my you know, like she's like maybe like half a block away from our work, you know? So she's like, baby, you need to slow down. And I was like, why? I look and I'm going like 50 down a residential street. And I was like, oh shit. So I slow it down and I go in and as like calmly as I can to the parking lot of our work, you know? I walk in and my best friend looks at me. He's like, "What's up?" And they all know that I'm fucked up when I have the Uncle Ruckus eye. When I have Uncle Ruckus, dude, everybody knows that I'm just like straight hammered. So I walk into work and I'm like this, dude. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" You know. And he's looking at me. He looks at me. He's like.
God.
And he looks at my girl. He's like, dude, he's fucked up. And then she's like, I know, don't talk to him. So then they take me to the back room, and then like I lay down, dude. I just straight slam my face on the table 'cause I'm already passing out. You know, everything's just hitting me. And then my you know, one of the supervisors comes in and she's like, oh, what's wrong with him? And my girl's like, oh, he has a really bad stomach ache and this and that. And then she's like, all right, well, we need him. Like, just give him about half an hour and he'll be good. And I was like, yeah, just half an hour. You know? I was like, don't worry about it.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, I was like, I'll be fine, man. Don't you worry about it. And then, dude, I'm in drive, like, a couple minutes go by, and I was like, I'm good. I'm not fucked up anymore. And as I'm walking, I see like everything slanted, and I was like, God damn it.
Becomes like a what was it?
Like a, like one of those
everything
like
becomes like Dutch tilt
horror
angle.
mazes and shit, you know?
Oh, it's like some
Joel
like
Schumacher
MC
there.
Escher painting.
Yeah, you know? And I was like, fuck, man. I was like, I need to sober up, man. Excuse me. I'm in drive-through. And the first person I get is this guy that's like completely coked out, you know. And we've dealt with him, you know, before. And no, but dude is awesome, you know. He like pulls up, and I'm like this, and I'm like, "What's up, bro?" You know. And then he's like looking, he's like, "What's up, man?" Like, dude, with the biggest smile on his face, and I was like, "Oh shit, this was freaking me out." And then my girl's like, my girl, we're giving out the orders and shit, and dude, after that day, like, I just like, that was like one of the funniest things that happened to, like, at our work, you know. And what's it called? after that, I left because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go do security. You know, it's better money because they cut our hours and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna do security, dude. And then while I was working security, I would work the night shift. You know, so my girl and one of my a couple of my homies would get off at the same time. They worked together. So I would go with tall cans or like Jack Daniels, just like drink with them there, dude, right before work. And I was like,
Jesus.
You were so Denzel.
I think we have a minor alcohol problem.
I know, right?
But hey,
We always say that.
Do you need to apologize to anybody?
You need to make amends with some people.
You know what?
You got the camera right here.
oh,
No.
screw that. I don't care about that. But I mean, you know, and Robert and I talk about this all the time, that at least you never got pulled over, because you know what they say. You know you're drunk when you get pulled over by
The Coast Guard. Fuck you, Sea-Pig!
Sea-Pig, I like that one. Dude, no, one day, like, I don't know how many tickets I've gotten myself out of. Like, I've lost count. One day I was I forgot where I left. I think I left my friend's house or a bar or something. But I was kind of fucked up. You know, I was like a little fucked up, not bad. So then I turned into the Wells Fargo, and there's a big parking lot, right? So I'm like, fuck it, dude. Like, my dad let me borrow the truck. I'm gonna do some donuts, you know. It had just rained. So,
Dude, you are a redneck. You are a fucking redneck.
not too many Hispanic rednecks, but we found one.
you know, I'm used to that. My
Chugging
cousin.
Jack Daniels doing donuts in a fucking parking lot. You're a
Going to work
redneck.
wasted. You're a redneck.
By any chance, is it the General Lee that you're driving?
So a Chevy, baby, Chevy.
All the
Thank
more
you.
so, yeah.
Chevy and Budweiser, baby. Dude, so I'm busting donuts.
You are a member of my family.
Yes, you're a member of his tribe.
So I'm busting donuts. You know, it had just rained, so like it was even better. You know, so I'm busting donuts in my truck, and I'm like, all right, enough of that. I'm bumping. I think it was like Transplants or some kind of like '90s, you know, ska shit. You know,
Right.
or like punk. You know, or punk. I forgot what it was. So I'm banging this stuff, dude. And I come out of the Wells Fargo and I'm about to turn on the street. And then all I hear is blue. And I was like, oh shit. And I look, they cut my exit off, you know? And I'm right here and I'm like, God damn it, this is it. Like, all I could think of was like, my dad's gonna whip my ass. Like, that's it. Like, nothing crossed my mind. I don't care about a ticket. I don't care about a fine.
Oh, good about jail time.
Yeah. You know, I don't care if they beat me. Like, my dad's gonna kick my ass.
sodomized in prison.
You know, and then
I'll take a dick before I take a beating.
I'm like, please,
Like your
somebody,
cellmate DeAndre.
somebody rape me so I get to the infirmary before my dad gets me. But so then the two cops get out, right? Dude's flashing his lights in my face, and I'm just like, damn, you know. So he comes over to the truck and he tells me, he's like, hey, you know, we got a report that someone was burning out back here. And I was like, you know what, man, you caught me.
They didn't say it was you.
That might have been
Volunteered that information.
Dude, but right away I was like, you know what? I mean, fuck it, you got me. I was like, yeah, it was me. I was like, look, dude, my dad just let me borrow the truck. I was like, you know, I just got off of work. You know, I came to get some money. I just thought I had some fun. You know, I was like, I did it in the parking lot. I went, you know. And then he was like, all right. And then he was like, what's your name? You know, this and that. Where you going? I was like, I'm going straight home after this. You know, I was like, in my head, I was like, please just let me go. You know.
Right.
And then I was like, I'm just going straight home. And then he was like, all right. He was like, where do you live? You know, I gave him my info. I gave him everything, you know. And I was just, you know, just telling him. He's like, you had anything to drink tonight? And I was like, nah, man, I just got off of work, dude, you know, like I said. And then he was like, oh, all right. He was like, okay, you know, he talked to me for a little bit. And then he's like, all right, well, you know what? I'm gonna let this slide, you know, at least you were doing it in a parking lot, not on the street. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. You know, I was like, yeah.
You should have been like, safety first.
So, dude, they let me go. I was like, fuck it, you know. But
impressive.
I mean, I was cooperating with them, you know.
Right.
And then another ticket I got out of, I was doing 70 down PCH, like 75,
Like a normal person.
yeah, you know, like the tourists do, you know.
Like everyone does.
So I'm doing like 75, 80 down PCH. And then, dude, right after, like, you know, the Ventura line, you know, where there's that big rock.
Yeah.
As soon as I come out of the turnaround, I pull out.
Corner.
Yeah, the corner. I'm like doing 80, and I see a cop just coming straight my way, and I was like, "Fuck!" So I let go of the gas, push on my brake. Excuse me. I see him slowing down and looking at me, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm fucked," you know.
Yeah.
So he busts the bitch.
Yeah.
Comes around, you know, gets on my ass, pulls me over. And he pulls me over, and I'm like, dude, think of something fast. Like, well, what should I say? Dude comes to my window.
Pregnant.
He comes to my window. He comes to my window, and then he was like, "Hey, man, you're doing 80. This isn't a freeway." And I was like, "Dude, I have to poop, man. I have to."
The classic.
Good call.
I was like, "I can't hold it, man. I gotta go to the bathroom." And then he was like, "All right, man, just sit tight. You know, I'm gonna get your info, this and that." I was like, "All right, man, all right." I was like, "But my stomach hurts," you know. And I was like, "I'm just trying to look for a restroom." And then he's like, "Okay." He comes back, and then he was like, "All right, look, man, I didn't give you a ticket. I'm gonna let you go with a warning, but I am citing your company because I was driving the company van."
Mm.
He was like, "The tags are out due, you know, like you have to put the tags on there." And I was like, "Okay, so this isn't for me, right?" He's like, No, the ticket's not for you. You're all good." I was like, "All right." And he's like, "Oh, and FYI, there's a pisser down the street right here, like down the highway." You know, I was like, "All right, thank you, officer." You know. So then, dude, I take off. I didn't even stop. I just and then I was like, as I'm going, I passed the bathrooms. I was like, "Shit, I should have at least stopped."
I know, at least stop, you know.
He's probably looking at me like,
Giving him that
Like that motherfucker.
yeah, that
Fucking
asshole, you
liar.
know? Yeah. Dude, but yeah, that was, man, I've gotten out of so many tickets. And then,
Yeah, I can relate.
dude,
I've gotten out of so many speeding tickets.
yeah, dude,
It's so ridiculous.
you know, and you know, longest,
You have the best.
I have the best stories.
yeah, man, like, you know, like,
Because it's funny because like the cops, like first the cops like very cocky to me. He's like, "Where's the fire speed racer?" And then when he sees my hands, he's like, "Oh,
Oh, shit.
fuck, dude.
This is not going to end well for me. I better just let this fucker go.
He's like, "You know what? I'm sorry. I'll wrap myself up. I'll give it to
It's like, my fault. It's my fault.
It was my fault. I did it." Dude, I think the funniest one was where my girlfriend had just gotten her truck. She had a Toyota Tacoma. We bought it from this redneck dude. Dude was drinking natural ice. You know, just straight up, you know.
Natty Ice, yep.
You know, hey man, don't get mad because I've grown to love it. You know, I got natty.
You're so redneck, dude.
I got natty daddies at home. Right?
Jeez.
But
So Are you a member of my family?
Maybe.
You were part of his tribe,
dude. My sister, my
Long
girlfriend,
lost cousin.
my sisters, and my girlfriend always tell me they're like, "Dude, you must have been like the most whitest guy before you, like in your past life." Yeah, like you know. But dude, so
You sure you weren't David Duke? In your past life?
the Duke's ass. So my girl buys her Tacoma. It's lifted, you know. It's got these big ass tires on it, and nice little
America,
truck, you know.
fuck yeah.
America flag on the back, dude.
Yes.
And, so yeah, one day, I had gotten a ticket for I had gotten a ticket. The only time that I've gotten a ticket, the only damn time that I haven't been able to get out of a ticket was when a Mexican cop stopped me. Dude, it sucked. He harassed me. He gave me everything, dude. Like, he was like, "Why you running?" I'm like, "I ain't running, dude. Like, my truck's messed up, man. Like, what do you want me to do? I can't go on the main streets, but I don't want to walk, you know?" And so yeah, he ended up giving me a ticket. Long story short, I gotta fix the ticket, and on my ticket it said August 1st, right? So I go to the courthouse on August 1st because he told me, he's like, "You have to go on this date." I was like, "All right, cool." So I go to the courthouse August 1st. The lady's like, "You know, you have a warrant for your arrest." And I was like, "What?" I was like,
"Tricky son of a bitch."
Yeah, I was like, "No, I don't." And then she's like, "Yes, you do." And I was like, "No, I don't." I was like, "It says right there, August 1st. I'm here." Like, I was like, "Was I supposed to hear before this?" You know? And the lady's like, "Oh, you know what? No, like, you know, on the paper it said like 3 days prior." Like, he had put the date wrong on my shit. And I was like, are you serious, dude? Like, what if I gotten arrested, you asshole? Like, I wouldn't have known for what I'm getting arrested for, But yeah, that's the only time I got harassed was by a damn Mexican cop, Like, that's bullshit,
And something to prove.
Yeah, like Boys in the Hood shit,
Right.
But anyways, I had gotten a ticket for that, and my girlfriend had made fun of me the whole time because she was like, I told you to fix your truck. I told you to fix your fucking lights. And I was like, yeah, I know. So then one day, she bust a bitch, dude, from the right lane. On the right lane. She's on the right lane.
What?
She busts a bitch on, what was it? On Winnetka. She busts a bitch, burns out. Over here, like, straight rednecks, burns out, dude. And I was like, as soon as she burns out, I look over to the oncoming traffic. There's a cop coming. And I was like, babe, you just did that in front of a cop. And then she's like, where? And I was like, you just passed us. He turns on his lights, comes up behind us. My girlfriend, she's Russian and Mexican. Yeah. But she looks white, So then, I'm like, babe, just pull over. Fuck it, just pull over. You're gonna get pulled over. So she pulls over. He turns on his lights. You hear the blue, and I think it's
yeah, we could do a speed bump.
Yeah,
I thought
we can maybe wrap
an hour, right?
Maybe wrap up.
Yeah,
after that. Yeah, after the bump. Yeah.
Yeah, but finish the story.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, not right after. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a cliffhanger for the second episode.
No, so yeah, she pulls over. Fucking cop pulls up behind us, and I'm waiting. We're there for 5 minutes. The cop's not out of his car. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then my girlfriend's like, yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He's probably on his computer. And I'm like, whatever. Next thing you know, he pulls up next to us and looks at her. He's like, that's a stupid way to get a ticket. You know that? And my girlfriend's like, yeah. And then I was looking, I'm like, what the fuck? And then he was like, don't do that again. And he just takes off. And I was like, no, fuck that. I was like, you're getting a ticket today. I was like, follow his ass. I was like, I'm gonna tell him to get you a ticket, dude. Yeah,
was this by the courthouse?
Huh? Nah, it was on Winnetka and Vinoan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Winnetka and Vinoan.
No, because I remember one time I was heading down Winnetka and it was like, and by the courthouse over there. And then this lady cop, she kind of paces me and she's like, and then we come to a stop, like just past just before the courthouse. And then she like motions me to roll down my window, so I roll it down, and then she like, through the window, she just screams like, "It's like slow down!" And then like I was like, okay, and then she like goes and like makes the left into the courthouse. I was like, no, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, what I do?
Yeah, but then a cop friend of mine told me like, oh, if that cop did it, then they're not like the usual like patrol officer. They're only like, and then if they turned into the courthouse, and they're probably one of those cops like assigned to the courthouse, and
not into like street duty kind. Yeah, dude, man, it's like I'm telling you.
Yeah, so that's why I asked, because like if there was like somewhere near like the courthouse, then maybe why that cop said that to her was.
Dude, it was a bald-headed, blue-eyed white guy, dude. He probably saw my girlfriend, was like, nah, this white girl's just some dumb, doing some dumb shit, probably with the gardener, the gardener's son. Like, I'll just let her go, Like, dude, he just drove off,
She suffered enough.
Yeah, she's going to suffer, like, her punishment is sitting right next to her.
Right.
Oh my god.
Oh,
all right.
Sweet dee.
Val, I love you, dude. You're awesome.
Right.
And
You're welcome back anytime.
And we've only like literally scratched the surface of your stories.
Yeah.
I chose a good day to return. This is a good podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, Dan hasn't heard any of these stories, so it's great. So, is there anywhere like people can like get in contact with you, Val? Like, do you have an Instagram, Twitter?
I have an Instagram. It's Mason_Val_Arte. ARTEE.
Fucking Mason.
That's
next week on the Circle of Jerks podcast. How the Masons are taking over everything.
Yeah, that's my Instagram. I think Mason_Val is my Snapchat, or Mason Val is my Snapchat. Yeah, I'm on those platforms. I don't post too much as I used to, but yeah, if anybody wants to get in contact with me, it's through there, Okay. Or you could see me riding around Chatsworth,
Yeah, it's like, hey, I saw that guy on that podcast.
Getting out of tickets, burning out. That's it.
You ain't getting out of no fucking tickets anymore.
They're gonna be like, hey, that's a prize right there. We gotta get that guy.
I know, right? Get him on anything.
This is a YouTube celebrity right here.
Well, thanks for coming, Val. I really do appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for
I know
having me.
scheduling is always kind of tough, especially with like our job.
I know. Yeah. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And
come back anytime, dude.
I'm glad I made you guys laugh.
Anytime.
Worth the price of admission.
Yeah. Dan's getting the first reading of some of these stories, so he's excited.
Yeah, trust. I have. It's not. It's funny because I saw this thing with Ralphie May. That comedian. I love
Ralphie May.
I fucking love that guy. But he was saying R.I.P. Ralphie May. Shout out to him. He was saying he was like, dude, like some people think this is bullshit, but like this is what happens. Like, some people are prone to this shit. It's just that you're prone to it. Like. I mean, sometimes I do make stupid decisions.
Yeah.
That
don't we all? Don't we all?
That escalate things, but yeah. So this is true stories about my life.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're hilarious.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I can amuse you with my pain. I just like.
Well, anyways, that's the episode for today, guys. If you like the episode, obviously we want to the like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If you want to interact with us, we have our Twitter @podcastcoj, Instagram is Circle the Jerks Podcast, and we're always, if you're wanting more content, we have obviously our whole slew of episodes of the Circle of Jerks podcast. Every Tuesday at 8ish, we have a live stream called Nocturnal Transmissions with Andy and myself. We do movie reviews and whatever the fuck that we want to talk about. That's what we do on Tuesdays. And if you like retro gaming, you can check out Up by Up Down with yours truly. I have a bunch of episodes of Let's Plays on some old games, and we're gonna be doing some more content with that here pretty soon. I'm working on some stuff, but that's stuff that for you to check out, and we will see you on the next episode of the Circle of Jerks podcast.
Can I say one thing before we leave?
Yeah, of course.
You need to have me on a Tuesday, man. I love cinema.
Okay.
Come on,
man.
All right.
I go back all the way to the first camera and everything.
Yeah, we usually do older movies. So,
I go back to silent films.
Just this month.
I know. Yeah, you were talking about silent films earlier. So all right, cool.
Okay.
I love silent films. I love any kind of film.
Maybe when we do our silent month, we'll have you on.
Yeah. Dude, but if you do movie reviews, let me know, man, because I love cinema.
Yeah, we're doing
this month this Tuesday will be the last month of our Charlton Heston month.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we're gonna cap it off with
probably his most best known film.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice.
But yeah, we'll have you on.
Yeah, one of these days. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, let me come by and because I love cinema.
Even if we have to do a pre-tape, we'll do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I love cinema, man.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. We got another cinephile with us. So
yes,
all right. Anyways, that's the episode. We will see you next time.
Deuces.
Peace.